Okay guys, story time about how we missed our flight, how everything happened to us in one night, and how crazy our lives have been since that day. The last that I left off on my previous vlog was just what's in my luggage, and I was giving hints about where I was going. I don't really think I want to say where I'm going at this point because it's gonna be postponed until further notice. We are going. We're not going back. So what happened was we had a flight January 6th at midnight. We were on our way to this trip, all three of us and my cousin, which she isn't here right now. Our flight left from California, not from Vegas.
Because it was like $400 cheaper. So
this meant that we had to drive to California before our flight. But we left around 5-ish, around 5 p.m. Our flight leaves at midnight. We have to get there around 10, like we'll be fine. At the beginning of our trip, I mean, I didn't feel too great, but I was like, this is happening. We hit traffic. Within 30 minutes into our trip, we hit traffic, which we were stuck in for about like an hour.
Let me tell you, Vegas does not get traffic. Ever. And they just added this like inspection right from the border of Vegas and California, like of Nevada. So literally we were sitting in traffic for about an hour and a half just for nothing. Like it was
irritating. And then as soon as we got out of traffic, like it started pouring. It started pouring rain, like pouring. You could barely see the person in front of you. We were driving.
Down.
Yeah, so
raining and it's dangerous.
Yeah, we can't drive too fast, so we were like, okay, the weather is kind of going against us right now.
We already lost an hour and a half of our time.
And then we were behind this car, and this is where things kind of got a little like hectic for all of us.
A little life-threatening is better.
Yeah. We were behind this car. He was in the furthest left lane. There's 3 lanes on the way to California. So there's the left lane, the middle lane, and the right lane. We were in this left lane, and the person in front of us was driving like a smaller car, kind of like a little van, like a minivan. A minivan. And we were in a big white truck. This car is driving so slow, and I get it, the weather wasn't great, but you shouldn't be driving that slow either, because
on the fastest lane.
Yeah. So we were trying to get out of that lane, and my boyfriend, who was driving at the time, he was driving us to California, he like was getting out of the lane, but as he got out of the lane, he lost control of the car, like the traction of the wheels and the ground, because it was raining. It kind of like lost control, so we went right back into that lane, hitting that car off the road into the middle. It separates incoming and outgoing traffic. That car got stuck there, but this is like, we didn't stop in the middle. Our car kept going, and it crossed over the other side of the freeway with 3 cars coming straight at us. And like from my experience, I saw cars, I looked at my boyfriend and I looked at her because she was sitting right behind him, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get hit right now. And I kind of just like, I closed my eyes, I took one deep breath, and like that was it. I was like, okay, this is it.
Literally.
Yeah.
I closed my eyes and waited for impact.
It was so scary. So I closed my eyes, and that's how I felt.
And she said, Jesus takes the wheel. And let me tell you, he took the wheel because we dodged those 3 cars. No one got hit, no one was hurt, except for her. She like, since she wasn't wearing her seatbelt, she bumped up and hit like her eyebrow.
We just finished getting out of traffic, so obviously I was without it. I was just chilling. I didn't know that was gonna happen within 10 minutes getting out of traffic, which by the way is seriously bad luck that those 3 things happened right after
another.
All within like a 30-minute span of each other.
Like it was not
ridiculous.
Already we're late. We were still on time technically, but we were really cutting the time like short. We barely hit them. The bumper barely, like, it came off, but that's because our car was bigger.
The pole.
Yeah.
They hit a pole, we hit the pole like right in the center, and that's what knocked the bumper off. Like it was just,
we hardly touched them. So my boyfriend has a warrant, but it's just because of like tickets, like not ticket, like a ticket that he didn't pay off. Long story short, he has a warrant. But
trying to get the insurance and go.
Yeah.
That's it. Because no one was injured. We were just trying to leave.
Yeah.
But they were making it a little difficult for that to happen. Her boyfriend, which is my cousin, he has the warrant. So in the back of our heads, we didn't want the police to get there, because if they read his plates and they read his license and everything, he was going to be arrested. So we were just trying to get out of there as soon as possible.
And then
the police show up.
they show up.
We were like, oh great.
Without even calling them, they just show up. And we're like,
yeah, we're missing it.
It's one of those days, yeah. So like, he's like, is everything okay? We're like, yeah, we're fine. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna slow down all the traffic, because so both of you guys can turn around. Because we were literally facing oncoming traffic, both of our cars. There was no way we could get out of there. So he's just like, I'm gonna just slow down all the traffic coming so you guys can meet me at the next exit. And he did. Literally, it felt like fucking
Forever.
Queens. Oh.
Yeah, we felt like queens too.
She fell in love with the cop. But yeah, so then from there, whatever, the cop came, slowed down traffic, we exited. He came, he looked at my boyfriend, he looked at the insurance, he looked at like the details of like the accident. But at that point, when he had driven down to the other exit and to come back, he saw like a few hundred feet down from us was another accident where a truck or a semi had flipped over. Because the rain was really like that bad. Whatever, then he was like, honestly, like I don't really have time for this. You guys can make a police report. Down the street is a police station. You guys can make it, but honestly it's a waste of your time. So he let us go. He told us switch insurances, which was what we were trying to do from the beginning. And he was like, and then just go. Like there's nothing much that he could do. That in his other words, like there was another emergency that was a little bit more important than more important than what we were going through. We honestly were like, thank you Jesus God.
And we get to the airport, and then we go into the airport, and our airlines, no one's there to check us in. So we're trying to.
In their defense, like we got there like an hour before, but they closed. Our flight left at 12:20, and they closed checkout at like 11:10.
We got there at 11:30. Yeah, 11:30, and there was no one to check us in.
50 minutes. Yeah, 50
So
minutes.
we're trying to see if we could talk to someone, find some answers. No, there's nobody in there. So then, well,
That's it.
that's it for that night. There was no answer, so then we're just hoping that maybe for the next day, which was Sunday midnight, if we could catch the next plane. So then we just go home, hoping for the best, and then
Call out Expedia.
Yeah.
the whole time after we got to airport, everyone's on the phone with Expedia, trying to get some answers, trying to figure out what we could do.
Trying to get another flight, trying to do something. So originally, they told us, you know what, like, as long as you book with the same airline, we can switch you to another flight on the 8th. Jacqui checks online, and there's a flight for
Same
the next
time.
day, same time,
Same airline,
but the 7th, so just the next day, you know? And they aren't offering it to us, so we're just confused. We're trying to get answers. And then they tell us that that airline we're with only opens every day for 4 hours. So everyone can board and that's it. Like, that's bullshit. How are we supposed to call if they're not even open? Like, we were pissed.
The next day we go and we were like, well, maybe there's someone that we could talk to, because at this point we didn't know that they had only open at 8. Like we thought maybe someone
would be there in the morning to
Yeah.
Shout out to Rosa who couldn't be here because Expedia fucked us over.
So bad. On the phone with them, and then the next morning they called us. There was a supervisor talking to us, and honestly he was very nice, checked up on us every 2 hours and tried finding solutions for us. But at this point in the morning he told us there was really nothing else that he could do, that we had to go to the airport, which is why we got up and we were like, let's go to the airport now. At the airport we went to the information desk. The information desk told us, oh well, this is all I know.
Gave us a number to call.
Gave us a number to call and said that this number was only available at like 8 to
11, the same hours that they're open.
Same hours.
So we were like, what's the point? Why do I need this number? I was like, well, maybe she's wrong, so I called. It said that that person was not available to answer the phone at this time, so it just hung up automatically. Didn't even let me leave a voicemail. We left and we come back in a few hours because they told Jacqui the day before that they opened the desk at 7, and then that information desk lady, she told us that it opened at 8:30. So we were just like, let's just get there early and let's just be prepared, and we're gonna fight for our flight.
So we get there at 5. And we were literally waiting at the airline, the front desk. We were the first ones at 5 for like, what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
3 hours. We
Check-in didn't start until 8:45.
Yeah. So then we get to talk to the lady at the front desk for the airline, and
she's like, we can't do anything because we're owned by another airline.
third. So there's 3 parties involved at this time. There's Expedia, Sichuan,
And China.
and China Eastern.
So we were booked with Sichuan, but
we had booked it through Expedia, which had bought it through China Eastern, which we were not aware of that it was bought through China Eastern, or else we would have talked to China Eastern prior and earlier to have this situation fixed. But because we were not told nor informed at any point in time the day prior,
no number to call,
yep.
or we had no idea what to do.
We had no idea.
It was ridiculous.
It's like we wasted basically our entire day like at the airport doing nothing when we could have maybe done something. We found this out when she told us she couldn't help us because we had bought our tickets through Expedia. At this point, we were like, all right then, who do we have to talk to? She told us to go to China Eastern, so we went to China Eastern.
We marched our asses over there.
Yeah.
Like, I need a supervisor.
Yep.
And we got one. And she was really helpful, not gonna lie, at first. She was calling her manager. She was trying to find something. And for a second, we all got excited because she was like, we're gonna try to get the flight moved over. And the supervisor at Sichuan told us there was 50 seats available.
50!
And that's when we were like, okay, 50 seats, like, let's get on this bitch, let's go. We're waiting for her to figure it out. We go over there, they're talking, and I think we got a little hyped for a second.
Yeah.
We were like, this is happening. And then she goes, but you're gonna have to pay a $500 fee.
$600
fee. And at that point we were like, whoa.
But why? It's the same airline, same time. There's 50 seats. What's the problem?
We were just told by Expedia that it would be free of cost
if it was the same airline. If it was the same airline. And we were like, it's the same airline. Why are you guys gonna make us pay for a change?
Jack's talking to Expedia on the phone. Jasmine's fighting with
the China Eastern lady.
Rosa is calling Jasmine's cousin. She knows a lot of tips
a lot, so she knows a lot about like airlines and stuff like that. So we were just trying to get suggestions and help in any kind of way because we had 2 hours to make this happen. 2 hours. We literally were on like a time crunch again. We're either on the phone with Expedia or with the China Eastern hotline to help us. Then we had the China Eastern manager supervisor helping us, and then we also had Sichuan manager or supervisor at the moment. She was also trying to help us supposedly, but it
kind of seemed like no one was doing anything.
At this point, it was literally a game. Like one was sending us to Expedia, Expedia sending us to them, and it's like
everyone's saying that they weren't
responsible.
We just literally want to get on the flight. Like that's it. It
was just to get there. Like we would have kept our same flight to come back. We would have everything else because apart from this, we had 3 flights
rearranged
in the place that we were going.
Everything was planned. Everything.
Like it was like we cannot miss this. Like
it was like ridiculous.
We didn't know what to do. We were like, we kept fighting.
Jasmine starts crying.
Dude,
like,
I was so mad. Like
Jacqui's pissed. She's yelling ridiculous on the phone.
Like this
I'm
is unacceptable.
Over here
like
calling the credit card companies trying to see if we can get a refund. Like we were just trying to do something because if we at least couldn't get on the flight, we wanted our fucking money back.
By this point, many different people that we had called that helped us through Expedia had told us we would get a refund, full refund, within, well they told me within 3 days. They told Jacqui she would still get a full refund no matter what. So basically everybody was telling us different things. That's why
we were fucked.
And then we called Joe's mom.
And luckily, I'm just saying, Jasmine had like a weird feeling before she left. My mom was in town too, like without me even knowing. She was dropping off my cousins and I didn't even know she was going that weekend. I don't know. It kind of feels like
everything just landed in place, like everything happened for a reason.
That's what people keep telling us, so that's what we're trying to think. But yeah, so right now we're just trying to stay positive about it, say that it happened for a reason. Because there were some things that like kind of added up. Maybe there were signs, we don't know. We're trying to think of that because we're really like disappointed we didn't go on this trip.
So we ride back with Joe's mom back to Vegas. We're all very
shout out to mama.
Shout out to Joe's mama.
Shout out to Mama Escalera, right? She's Escalera?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so. So then we that's where it hit us in the car, like
going to Vegas once again.
Like nothing worked out. Like, we didn't get on our trip. We are going back home. We were like at to Vegas, and we're all like, all right, we need to go somewhere. We still need to do something. Like, they requested days off for work. We're not staying at home for 10 days. We're doing something. So we're like online looking for places to go, and then we finally decided on the place. And for now, we wanted to go somewhere tropical, warm, sunny.
Avoid the terrible weather.
Basically take the bags we already packed.
Yeah. This morning, today is the January 8th. We left Vegas at 6 in the morning.
We've been up since 3:30.
Yeah, we've been up since 3:30. Mind you, yesterday, we finally got back to Vegas at like, what, 5? 6?
But
we planned the trip.
Yeah, in 2 hours.
In like 2 hours, we buy new tickets. We go home, repack a little bit, shower, sleep, and we're up at 3:30 in the morning, ready for another trip that we're going on now for sure. So then we
Currently in LAX.
Yeah, we fly from Vegas to LAX, back here again, but we're actually inside now, not downstairs waiting.
But that is what happens when you try to fit everything into a day. So we recommend, guys, plan everything ahead. Make sure that if you're traveling from a different state,
leave a day before.
Yes, please, to avoid everything that we went through. But in my personal experience, I know that I said in my video before this that Expedia was very like trustworthy and like reliable, and from this experience I can honestly say that they've let me down a lot, and now we're even fighting for them for our refund, and I probably will not be using them again.
But shout out to my cousin too for taking control of the wheel
and for being
calm in that situation.
Yeah.
He did as much as he could.
And we're very thankful, even though we were unable to make our flight. There, like we said, there was a reason. Hit the like button if you guys like this story time. Make sure to leave a comment down below of your experiences traveling, and maybe like some crazy stories that you guys have gone through.
Or some tips that can help us for future reference.
Yes. Or places that we could go visit.
Ooh, very true. Cheap places.
Cheap places. We would prefer cheap
or college students.
Out of the country places.
Yeah.
Because we like out of the country. We like to add to our list.
Next one, where are we going? To Guatemala? Your place? Peru, your place?
I'm gonna try and go to Guatemala.
Why?
I don't like it.
But anyways, we'll see you guys next time.